I'm wondering if Tomas made it. I'm assuming not because I didn't see him in the list, but
Yeah.
I'll try to get him. I sent him the link as well, but we'll see if we can get him to share as well.
I'll jump in here for a second. Thomas is up sleeping right now. He worked hard in the yard yesterday with Lisa.
Nice. Well earned then. So I'll move into some recognitions here. Lisa, I had this photo some time ago, and maybe you could share what's happening here.
Yeah, that was Kate and I at Septentrion, the crab feed that they had. And we were the first ones there, and we got the biggest plates. It was wonderful.
Delicious. Fundraiser of some kind?
It was, they're starting to do dinner.
Well, they were starting to do those.
Yeah, they were starting to do these dinners. And so this was the first one that they did. And it was an afternoon, and it was lovely.
Actually, Kate was my replacement. I was out of town.
So that's what that was. If you ever get the opportunity, they have their great service, and their food is wonderful, everything that they do.
Very cool.
AJ, could you remind people to mute their speakers when they're not speaking?
Yeah, I was going to look to see how I do that here. Or if you could do it on your own, yes.
Yeah, and Greg told us that you can bypass the mute temporarily by pressing the space bar.
Like holding it down like
Just like a walkie-talkie.
Ken,
Amy, this appears to be your profile photo, but I think there was a celebrity sighting that I wanted to maybe get a little bit of backstory about.
Sure. That was actually several years ago, but I shared it again recently. And I met Bernie at a fundraiser at his friend's house in Vermont. It was like a really intimate little setting, and it was a great time.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing there. Did Brandi make it on? So since the what was it called? The Perilous Plunge was canceled. They did allow for some fundraising, and Amy and Brandi were on the same team. So that's Amy on the right with her Cthulhu mask, and then Brandi with the plunger, and then one of our good friends, Haley, on the left. And this was their photo that they turned into the Discovery Museum, just to continue the cause. So I'm sure Brandi, if she were on, she was really grateful for all the donations, and I think we'll try to keep that theme going through everything here. Did Charli make it on? Murphy?
I don't see her.
So this was one of her paintings. So that was a good time last Friday, one of the last, I think, times I was in a smaller group. So maybe we'll try to hear from her later on, see how that went for her. As well as this, she's now a new auntie. So we'll look for that story later. So coming back to pets. So Maggie, would love to hear how your experience was. I know that this kind of scenario that we're in now is not something they train you for there, but this seems to be our at least near future for a little bit. Yeah, how was your experience, and tell us about what you are looking forward to doing in your year.
All right. Well, thanks for this chance to say something. I want to thank the club for paying for me to go to this. And I do have only one complaint, which is, well, no, probably more than one, but the one first is, or just to point out that, let me do this. So we all got laid at the conference. And I got this one here, which you can see I'm wearing, but both Howard and Dustin got laid more than once. Just want to say, okay. And I also have pins for everybody that I got back for you. Where's my camera? Anyway, here we go. And I'm thinking of maybe doing a drive-up pin distribution at some point. So I'll stand on the street and you guys can just drive by and I can hand you your pin. Because I'm not sure when we're all going to get together again. I'm going to do this. I like this picture better. So it was pretty extraordinary in a lot of ways, just to have that many people together, but it also, for me, it felt like there was a big elephant in the room, that we were all talking about the virus. We were worried. My roommate and I had moments of pretty, dark humor about it, as a coping mechanism, obviously, but I didn't go to all the sessions because there were times where I just felt like I needed to be in my room without a lot of people around because it really felt crowded to me. But the sessions I went to were really inspirational and fun. And they kept telling us they were doing things differently this year, but if you haven't been to it, you wouldn't have known that. So they focus on that a lot. But one of the things they did is they took their 4 areas, their strategic priorities, and they had us have work sessions on each of those where we talked about how we were going to do those things in our club. And those 4 areas, I'll just mention them. And I have some stuff I can email to people. I'm not going to read to you, but they talked about how we can increase our impact, how we expand our reach, how we enhance participant engagement, and how we increase our ability to adapt. That last one being obviously a huge thing. And I think I met some great people. I had fun. I didn't go to all the hospitality suites both nights because, again, they were pretty crowded too, and I was just trying to stay away from folks. And I plan to bring some of this stuff back and use it. I'm not sure about how we'll do firesides at this point, but we'll figure it, we'll talk a little bit more about that with the board and maybe get some input from you all. There's other ways we can gather information. And some of our newer members, I especially want to spend some time, gathering information from, because they've never done a fireside and they don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about that. So I do kind of want to see if we can reach out, especially to the newer members, and get some, get some comment about what they're hoping to see and what they expected and things like that. We also had Holder Knack there, who is the incoming Rotary president, and he talked about areas of his focus and concern. And his theme is Rotary opens opportunities. We're not just a bunch of individual clubs operating separately, but we as an organization, a larger, have what he says are endless opportunities. He's really concerned about environmental focus, about the environment. I think he'd like to expand what we do in that area or bring focus to it. He thinks that all clubs should have develop or have a strategic plan where we want to be in 5 to 10 years and what we're offering our members and our community in a planned and sustainable way. He says service is great, but supporting members and recognizing this huge global network is critical to our survival. He talked about the added value we bring to one another, especially to new members. He also said we need to not rush bringing in new members. It's important to make sure they are the right fit for us and we're the right fit for them. And then he talked, of course, about polio and the importance of finishing that. And, and again, nobody really went into any concerns about what the new world is going to look like. I think people were still kind of living in I mean, the fact that we had 500 people there meant we were definitely living in a denial mode. And that was only 2 weeks ago. And our world is changing, obviously, very, very rapidly. I kind of wish we had addressed the elephant in the room of this, but I really think that they had put so much work and planning into the event that they just couldn't pivot fast enough. And they didn't want to pivot. And I get that, but I think we missed an opportunity to have those conversations. They also wanted to encourage all of us to be thinking about what our Rotary aha moment is, or our Rotary moment. And we got a lot of stories from some of the speakers about what their Rotary moments were, kind of what brought them to Rotary, or what, while they were in Rotary, just made them realize, wow, this is what we're about. This is what my service is about. And realizing that we're just one person, each of us, but we're part of something so much bigger. And that each time any one of us does just one thing in service, it has the potential to have such a bigger impact that we often don't know that when we're in the middle of it. And I think that's really important going forward, that we realize that we're going to have to be having a lot of small individual moments in the next coming time, that we're supporting others and ourselves, and that we're not that we're remembering we're part of a global community, not just Rotary, but the whole globe, and that we just have to be careful about retreating to our own, our own tribe in a way that becomes, that fear can do that to you, and just that awareness. So these are some of the things I was thinking about while I was there. That's what I have to say for now.
Thank you, Maggie. There's a lot to think about. These are definitely unprecedented times, and it's increasingly difficult to know what we can do or what we can contribute to. But we'll, adjust. We'll keep looking for opportunities for us to be Rotarians, do the right thing. I'm not sure if your driving opportunity is flushed out yet, but I know there's quite a few volunteers who are willing to step up and be drivers. I guess what are some of your thoughts there? Is that in action yet, or is that an immediate need?
Yes. So what we've done is I've sent out requests to our club, but also to some of the other Rotary clubs in the Humboldt Bay area, asking for volunteers who would be willing to do, when they go do their shopping, to go shop for somebody who is staying home and not even going out to do that. We have a number of seniors who we've already been providing services to because they cannot drive or physically can't do these things. And we're really encouraging them to hunker down. And our staff and our volunteers are still taking people to any medical appointments that are absolutely necessary. But what we need help with is people who are willing to do shopping for others in your neighborhood when they need it. So if you're interested, and some of you have already reached out and said you would be willing to help, but if you're interested in that, you can email me and I'll pass it along to the person who's coordinating that. We will definitely be needing that because we already know of these people. We already know of these people who aren't driving that we can't help. And as they start to self-isolate or quarantine, or not quarantine, but distance, there's just going to be more people who are worried about that. The other thing that I talked to Carly Robbins over at the Eureka Club, and Carol can probably speak more to this too, but they're also looking for volunteers who are willing to help with some of the in the warehouse and putting food together. They're driving and delivery to seniors taken care of for now, but they're like us. They can't just send anybody out to do anything, and certainly go into people's homes. But I've decided for our program that we don't need to vet Rotarians. You're already vetted, because normally we have to background check everybody, and we just don't have time for that. So if you're interested in doing that, we give you somebody in your neighborhood, if in your town or wherever, and that would be a person that once you're connected to them, you would just stay connected to them and offer them help when, just check in with them, see how they're doing, and offer to pick up some things for them when they need it when you go. So we're hoping no one's out making extra trips as a result of this. It's just add it to your shopping. And some of them, we got one person who's kind of funny. She goes, well, I get my toilet paper here, and I get my this over here, and I get my this over there. And we kind of said, you know what? We're going to get all of it and where we can find it. Because that's how I shop too. I sometimes do that, but right now it's like we're going to go shop one time, get what we need, and get out of there. So
Yeah, I stopped by.
Ian, look at Ian.
Carefully, man.
There he is. Okay.
I stopped by the co-op yesterday, and I guess under the shelter in place, they're only letting 10 people in at a time. So I'm imagining there's going to be some decent waits out there for doing some shopping. So another recognition, I think I saw Karen join. Looks like she's at it again, planting another tree. Karen, do you have the story behind this? Are you muted? Well, another time then.
Karen, press the space bar on your computer and you will unmute. Or not.
Okay. Next time.
I don't see her on there.
Okay.
Oh, I do too. She's waving. She's waving.
Should I go back? Let's see. Maybe I can.
Karen, if you hold down the space bar, that'll unmute you. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Gotcha. I can hear you.
So at hospice, we planted a tree for Arbor Day. The one in the foreground, the little one. The one behind our Eureka Sequoia sign is dying, and we'll probably replace that next Arbor Day. So, and it'll be a maple tree, so there'll be a lot of beautiful color in there. It's a circle in front of the building.
Very cool. How many trees do you get to plant during this season?
Well, during Arbor Day, we had 3 trees planted that we assisted with. We also, the Garden Club District did another planting at the Botanical Garden. It'd be our second tree there. I think we'll have a little grove over several years of planting.
Very cool. Thank you. So this happened yesterday. I don't know if Matt's on the line either, but we happened to share a birthday.
Here we go. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear AJ. Happy birthday to you.
So they sent that to me while worked from home yesterday.
So what
Happy
kind of
birthday.
what kind of bonus did you give them for that?
Gail is a talented piano player, so I think since we didn't get to celebrate together, they just sent me a video, which was fun.
So what would happen if we all unmute and sing you happy birthday?
What would happen?
Let's
Everybody
try.
press your space bars.
Go for it.
Are we ready?
Dick, start us out. No, you're muted, Dick.
Lisa, are you gonna sing?
Okay. Holy crap. Let me try this again. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear AJ. Happy birthday to you.
All right, well, we know now not to do that again.
Well, thank you.
Fabulous.
It was wonderful.
You know,
Yeah.
AJ, there is one other thing that's really I think we all need to know, and that is Scott wearing pants?
No.
Keep your pants on.
Wearing a black leather mini skirt, fishnets, and knee-high boots.
Definitely.
Oh, Greg, you're wearing that again?
Go to.